This is Valley News Live at 10.
Welcome to Valley News Live at 10. I'm Stacey Van Dyke.
And I'm Justin Betty. Tonight, Fargo police say they have a suspect in custody following a bank robbery this afternoon.
It happened just before 4 at the Wells Fargo Bank downtown at 406 Main Avenue. Here's a look at a couple pictures taken from surveillance video at the bank. Police say the man got away with an undisclosed amount of money. They shared these photos with the public and had him in custody within 90 minutes. Police say they have filed charges that are currently pending. Stick with Valley News Live as we work to learn more.
New tonight, a Fargo man is speaking out after he says he was given a fake $100 bill at a Western Union inside the West Fargo Family Fare grocery store.
And he says he may have been arrested if it weren't for security cameras inside. Valley News Team's Alex Larson has our story.
She counted it out for me. She gave me a $100 bill.
Royal Rockefeller was going to use this money to pay for his items. But when he gave it to the cashier,
he's like, it's not real. And I'm like, I said, well, if it's not real, then you guys are handing out counterfeit $100 bills. I was like, because I just got that from the kiosk at right over here.
The other cashier who gave him the money came over to the register to take a look.
She held it up to the light and she's like, oh my God, look at what it says right here. It says play money. It said play money on a $100 bill.
By natural feel of the money, the U.S. dollars have raised ink on it, so you feel edges and raised ink on it. And it feels kind of flat. It's probably going to be fake money.
Then the store called the police.
When they went in back and I guess looked at the tape and they came back out and they were like, well, you don't have nothing to be worried about. Nobody's going to jail tonight.
They took the fake bill, but Rockefeller says it could have been a lot worse for him.
I could have woke up in jail this morning if I went somewhere else and tried to use that $100 bill.
Rockefeller says if it happened to him, it can happen to anyone. And police agree.
Sometimes they do continue, but a lot of times I believe people, employees at establishments do a great job catching these fake bills. The banks do a great job catching the fake bills as well.
Rockefeller left us with a word of advice.
Examine, look at it, and before you leave the store, make sure you're still under the camera while you're looking at it. And if there's something wrong with it, take it back to the cashier. Like, hey, this is what you gave me.
Alex Larson, Valley News Live.
Rockefeller told us he was able to get in contact with management today and got a very real $100 bill back later this afternoon.
Dicey roads again tonight, but a warm-up is coming. Hutch joins us with a first look at the forecast. Hutch?
That's right, and the warm-up actually will begin in the overnight hours, but for now it's pretty unbalmy out there. In fact, it even looks a little bit on the hazy side from our Luther Family Ford location. You're looking at I-29 off in the distance. Cold temperatures have fallen. Look at this, some 30 to 45 degrees across our area over last night at this time. A huge drop in temperature after yesterday. We saw a huge rise in temperature for some of our area, over 50 degrees from Tuesday. Yeah, big ups and big downs. That's what we're going through, one of the down cycles right now. 15 below the actual air temperature in Grand Forks and in Oaks. It's 8 below Fergus Falls, 7 below for Babe the Blue Ox, and well, it's 9 below in Hallock. Here's a look at those wind chills between 20 and 30 below. We have a wind chill advisory through the overnight hours as we have clear skies and quiet conditions, but some flakes of snow are on their way, and we have some clouds on the way as well. So while it's clear, temperatures will continue to drop into the teens below. But you see this? Whoop! As we go towards daybreak, those temperatures are on the rise, and that's not bad news as we head toward the close of our work week and into your weekend. I'll have details on how high this spell goes, and we'll talk about another cold batch of weather coming our way here in a little bit.
Of course we will. Thanks, Hutch.
Yeah. And for weather details anytime, download the VNL Weather app. You can get it for free. Just search VNL Weather in the App Store today.
New information for you on a story we've been following since last week. Today, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police identified the family who died trying to cross the border into Minnesota, adding that the official cause of death was exposure. They say 2 parents and their 11-year-old and 3-year-old children arrived in Toronto from India on January 12th. Then they were likely dropped off near the border on January 18th, since no car was found. They were part of a group of 11 Indian nationals attempting to cross into the U.S. near the Minnesota-North Dakota border last week during a blizzard. The 7 other people have been released pending deportation hearings. A 47-year-old Florida man, Steve Shand, is facing human smuggling charges, but he has not been charged in the deaths. Federal authorities suspect that case is linked to a much larger smuggling operation along the border.
An update to a Valley News Live investigation. A spokesperson for the West Fargo School District says a security guard at Cheyenne High School was removed from campus today. Principal Ryan Salisbury says the administration received a tip from a student this morning about the guard inappropriately communicating with the student on social media. Now, we don't know exactly what was said or posted, but the school says it was against their communication policy, which tells staff not to engage in friendships with students through email, text, or social media. We spoke with a therapist from the village who says kids, they may not be able to understand why that's wrong or that it's not their fault.
Oftentimes it looks like blaming themselves for what's going on instead of recognizing that actually this adult is not acting appropriately with me. So that is work, that's a lot of work that I end up doing with kiddos, is trying to kind of decipher what's really going on here.
Principal Salisbury says until the investigation is complete, Cheyenne High School will not be contracting with ASP of Moorhead for another security guard. They'll go partner with the West Fargo Police Department to have a school resource officer on site instead.
Also, new for you tonight, University of North Dakota leaders are discussing what's next after their decision not to move forward with a gender-inclusive policy on campus. Today, President Andrew Armacost spoke about how to address housing and potentially designating specific housing for LGBTQ students.
This is something we have to examine and to determine if a wing or a dorm or a floor. On one hand, folks said this would be great to live with those with whom we identify, and others said, you know, the disadvantage is that it doesn't show the rest of the campus who we are.
Armacost also explained the proposed policy was really just pulling together existing laws, and he says it wasn't worth the risk to the school's bottom line.
There was serious legislative interest and reaction to the draft policy. And I, as the leader of the institution, I have to take these inputs as important and as indicators of the opinions of our legislatures and their thoughts. Those thoughts can certainly have an impact on university funding.
Meanwhile, South Dakota's legislature has pushed back a vote on a bill that would limit transgender women from participating on women's sports teams. The bill would make it so school districts, colleges, or even activities leagues can be sued for allowing transgender women to participate on a women's team. Today, an amendment was proposed that would also allow students and parents to sue for damages, say, if a person assigned female at birth loses out on a scholarship to a trans woman. That vote was pushed to next Tuesday.
Also new tonight at 10, after just a few days of being open, it appears that ice road over Lake of the Woods in Minnesota's northwest angle may be closed for the season. Points North Services says Mother Nature has made working on the road too difficult and too tough on equipment. Crews came up with this idea for the road last year, plowing a path through the ice so Americans could drive to angle resorts without having to cross into Canada. U.S. Postal Service officials say they are aware of mail delivery issues in Moorhead. The Postal Service says they are dealing with the human impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, and they encourage anyone with concerns to reach out to them. We've posted the link and instructions on our website. Just click on this story. Still to come on Valley News Live at 10. You ever wondered what it takes to become a highway patrol officer here in North Dakota? We'll take an inside look at the training in just a few minutes.
So last night at this time, we were advertising a 40 to 55 degree warm up in temperatures from Tuesday. Today, well, we're on our way back down, about 45 degrees colder than last night at this time. Your hour by hour forecast shows, hey, warmer weather's on the way. I'll have the latest in your forecast next.